Peace and blessings, family. Sister Ajali. This is one of the weirdest stories ever, but weird is what they're trying to promote, and I'll go over it in more detail. But this is, I don't know, just like the meme for a group that are described as gay furry hackers, and they call themselves Sieged Sec, and they hacked into a U.S. nuclear laboratory's computer systems. Let me just read the article here. A U.S. nuclear lab working on next generation nuclear power plants. That's just the same old doublespeak. Ain't nothing new about the atom and about radiation. They're just trying to find new fancy terms in order to hide it. As I have stated before, Zero Hedge, in my firm guesstimation, and actually estimation, is a nuclear shill site. They're also just a white supremacist site, cloaking itself as if it's reasonable, because that's the only way that these folks can justify their plans. But it winds up putting a whole bunch of clueless white people. There's the highly programmable group of people. That's why they've managed to do what they've done for centuries and centuries, because they want to delude themselves into believing that they are elevated morally above everybody else. But in order to keep up that ruse, they have to come up with all of these cockamamie, twisted, rationales to justify it, and they're running out. So at this point in time, they've just thoroughly embraced as much of Satanism as they possibly can. So that includes just this whole, the nothingness, essentially, which I'm going to get into a little bit more. But just lying about radiation and what it is, and it doesn't change. And these nuclear power plants, all they do is they just change the jargon. So light water reactors as opposed to the traditional heavy water. Well, I would fathom that just means they take in fresh water and they turn it into heavy water, because there's no way that the radiation can be cooled down without the water they're using to keep these systems cool taking on the radiation from those reactors, from the cores within them. Now, they may be, when they say they're using small nuclear reactors now and they're trying to push all of that, they mean they're going to be using the same systems that are in the nuclear submarines. But when I've looked up stories, the Navy sailors who are in those nuclear submarines are experiencing exponential rates of cancer, and they emit tritium water. And there's different kinds of tritium water. There's natural background tritium, which is a whole nother story, and then there's the massive millions of gallons per minute tritium water that just plain old nuclear, functional nuclear power plants emit, and submarines, and then also Fukushima, which is just barreling out hundreds of tons of tritium water every single day, and then the extra stuff that they've thrown into the Pacific Ocean from those barrels that, in my guesstimation, they've been throwing that stuff out forever, because the number of barrels never changed if they were actually collecting that water. No, they were throwing it out. And so that's why we've had a drastic change in the weather systems. We've had melting of the icebergs because it's hot water. And they use language, I'm not going to get into it in the details, but they use their trickery language in order to fool us all. And so light water reactors, that's just them trying to hide what they do. And robotics, all the robots they sent into Fukushima melted. They melted because this is what they theorized. You could cause an EMP, an electromagnetic pulse blowout, with a nuclear bomb exploded high enough up in the atmosphere so that it doesn't destroy the buildings, but it will fry out all electronic circuitry. And so in Fukushima, the amount of radiation is going up exponentially every single year. There's no robot they can get down in there to do anything. That's why you don't hear them saying, we fixed it, we fixed the problem. No, they haven't, all right? And so this group of self-proclaimed gay furry hackers went on in there just this Monday and breached the INL, the Idaho National Laboratory, divulging thousands of data points such as full name, date of birth, email address, phone number, social security number, address, employment info, and more. It also reminds me of when they released a bunch of financial information about celebrities, all races, up in Hella Weird, and shortly after that they started just behaving in more scandalous ways, or at least stories about what they do behind closed doors were being more revealed. This is all very orchestrated. So for them to be releasing names and addresses, I conclude it is a warning. It's a warning to the heads of these nuclear agencies, even the workers who during the scandal-ademic thingy, they reduce greatly the staff at all nuclear facilities. And just recently in Daily Mail, there was an article where the military was saying there's nothing they can do about the forever chemicals, which is basically a euphemism for radiation. That's what they've done for all time. In the book Behind the Fog, the author, Susan Martino, I do believe her name is she revealed that when they were spraying Pruitt-Igoe with radiation, they called it simulants in order not to alert the public that they were being radiologically poisoned. And so for them to release all these names and addresses and numbers, I think it is to let these nuke folks know, as they said with the forever chemicals, the military uses these forever chemicals in their weapons. What do they use that would be so deadly that they would make a weapon out of it but radiation? Now with this, I really do not believe that they were on our side. Even though, because I'm like, what's the point of you just releasing lots of names? Sure, maybe that means people can contact them, but you know immediately this stuff is going to be fudged out, so nobody can really find out the names and numbers and addresses of anybody that you hacked. And so I think about Sam Brinton, who was the head of safety of I think it was the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, but the agency directly responsible for keeping common folks supposedly safe from the hazards of radiation. This guy would have to be an absolute fraudster in order to do whatever he was told under the Trump administration while he was still president. The then head, who had Sam's job before he got it, had quit. I think he quit because he refused, or he was fired. He refused to lie as he was being directed to do. And when was it Biden, who just was like, he's never seen a perversion that he didn't use to destroy the planet, including all them black lesbians up there, all of them, and also the swirling one who he put into the Supreme Court. These people have a very slight grip on reality, and thereby they'll just do whatever to feed their lack of harmony with genuine reality, with genuine truth. And so they'll lie. They lie to themselves. They have no problem lying to everybody else. But he was fired because he stole this sister's luggage. It was, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to insult the sister. I didn't know it was a sister, but it was incredibly garish luggage. Everybody is allowed, though, to like what they like, and at least she's a natural woman. But Sam Brinton is a furry himself. Here we don't see him in his, doggy get up, but that's his allegiance is to all of this. And you know that's twisted in ways that we don't even want to go there, that even Diddy wouldn't go. And thereby, when I see him having been fired, and a brother recently posted a video of how Sam got caught in his mom's basement trying to scam his own followers on, I do believe it was either TikTok or Instagram. I wonder, this guy is so scheming, he's so skeevy. I wonder if he's behind all of this. I mean, I don't want to make a bad comparison right there, but at the same time, you know what? It might not be, because I see it is a strategy in and of itself. Like, the moment the U.S. Army, and I think it was under Clinton, I do believe it was under Clinton, or it was under Bush, maybe it was under Obama. I think it was under Obama. They're all the same guy, okay? They started allowing comfort animals for soldiers on their tours of duty. And they've also just like, they recently had a Army spokesman who was a surgical. I don't know if they got the full surgery, but that's ultimately what they're trying to promote everybody to do. And so you're instantly sterilized. But this is the sort of thing that goes beyond just Sam Brinton. I'm not accusing Sam of anything in particular, but I am saying that this is a systemic, a historical dysfunction, epic dysfunction, and Satanism ain't nothing but dysfunctional on these controllers' parts, because the UN admitted they've lost control in it. Right after they made that statement, they had a big old meeting. Everything went absolutely haywire on every single level of social media. Any agenda, any platform they control. This is all they can do. So there's also this new trend on TikTok called going Delulu, where literally you have folks out there trying to talk others into, it's sort of like the old, whatever you think about, you'll manifest it in real life, which was a bunch of BS too. This is the same thing where you just embrace delusional thinking. Because they don't have any excuses for the Dylan Mulvaney's anymore. Everyone knows you're out of your daggone mind. And so they're trying to talk the young by making it seem like it's cool that just whatever you can ponder, it should be. They are then using their platforms to say, TikTokers are embracing Delulu, but is being delusional ever a good thing? Is a healthy dose of delusional the key to success and happiness? TikTok says yes. And they have these experts, they're experts saying the same exact thing. So this is systemic. This is, like the DSM manual, which was the first place where they put in there that homosexuality is not an illness. We should have been thinking of it as a pathology that is segregated to certain demographics because it is part of their closeness to the nothingness itself, which is antimatter. It pulls apart all forms of existence. And that is why ultimately embracing their mindset leads you to losing the blessings of the Creator himself, who created existence with truth, with rules, not Aleister Crowley, do whatever the heck pops into your mind. That's all this is, Aleister Crowley. And so when I see them claiming that these gay furry hackers hacked into a nuke lab, but they didn't release any real information, they certainly didn't talk about stuff the way I do, right? What are they trying to make it seem as if anti-nukers such as myself are into wokery? I don't know about the other ones because they're white folks. But I know you know me, and that is definitely not the case. Do not dismiss my warning simply because they're going to attach it to Dylan Mulvaney's madness. As a matter of fact, let me go over the radiation book list again so that you could read the facts and not the propaganda psyop that I know they are going to put out there, because my warning, all the anti-nukers warning, I don't mind sharing saving the planet with everybody on Earth, okay? But you can go and get these books yourself. I hope you can read that, because I'm not going to bother just expanding it right now. But there's page 2, there's page 3, there's page 4, page 5. There's 3 more books that I could add to this, but trust and believe. You read some of these and you will know that your sister ain't joking with you, ain't exaggerating, ain't delulu. I'm talking the facts here. These people have deceived us so that we will volunteer for extermination before we will snap out of it and do what we need to do. We must man up, woman up, child up even, to save this beautiful planet while we still got it, okay? Go on over to 25000yearcycle.org. I thank you, beautiful sister. I think you just got your soap today and your special sample gift of Silk Hair Cream, and I thank you for that order. That always makes my day to fulfill orders and get them out ASAP. But you can come on over here and get your healing on and support the only platform that is giving you the real rescues, the real remedies. God, oh my goodness, what we do when we know what must be done. We just get to work, okay? That's what our people have always done. We rest on the shoulders of giants who just didn't know about the radiation yet. Now we do. Now let's get it done. I love you. Straight Black family pride is our map to forever. Peace and blessings. I'll see you in a couple weeks because I got to keep on writing. That book is good.